Yo, what is going on, guys? Sekapoko here, bringing you another Genshin Impact video. For this video, we're going over the showcase for the Traveler. Now, recently I put out a video, a post saying thank you for all the 25,000 subs, and there was hundreds of comments that we got from this, and I get hundreds of comments every single day. And of course, the #1 comments on there are Chungyang as well as the Traveler. I can't do Chungyang yet. I will be doing Chungyang, but I need 1 unit to do the Chungyang showcase, and I do not have that unit, so it's very difficult, and I do not have any resources to build the Chungyang, so I did the Traveler instead. And I went through all these comments on this one in particular, and of course I went through other ones. I don't have time to respond to every single comment. I'm putting out like somewhere between 1 and 3 videos a day, streaming about 10 to 18 hours a day, and doing all this, so I don't have enough time to respond to everything. I'm sorry. I do my best, but I'm working really hard to get everything done. So we're always live on Twitch if you want to check us there. Twitch.tv/Sekapoko. We go live around, I want to say 9 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time, around there. Maybe 10 Pacific PM. We'll stream all night till about 8 in the morning. Usually, maybe even a little bit later if chat gets crazy and we have fun stuff. So again, thank you for all the subs on the channel for the 25,000 subs in 17 days. That's crazy. As I make this video, it's over 27,000 subs, so it's even crazier. Thank you again so much. So this video, again, we're building the most free-to-play character in the entire game, of course, because he's the Traveler. So let's go and jump into it. Okay, so for this showcase, we are only doing the Anemo version of the Traveler. The reason we're only doing the Anemo version of the Traveler is because whenever you level up the Traveler, I did not know this until I started doing it, but each of one of the talents when you level them up is actually independent of the other ones. So if I level up this one right here, it's actually only going to be for the Anemo Traveler. It's not going to be for the Geo Traveler or any of the other future Traveler versions. It's only this one. So it's a little expensive to level up a Traveler, I'm not going to lie. They're pretty darn expensive to level up Traveler. Kind of a mad lad play. So again, I want to thank you for all your patience on getting these videos out, of course. Each one of these videos takes approximately 2 to 3 days to get out there, and about 10 to 16 hours of my time to get everything done, finding out the correct solutions for the characters, figuring out the builds, getting the farmable materials, farming up the pre-farm, etc. All that stuff said and done, so just to get the showcase ready for you guys. And of course, I don't do any showcases on units unless they are level 60 and ascended, so it takes a little bit to even show the minimum potential of a unit to show you where they can go in the future to get the other potential rewards. Can't get the swirl damage on the slimes, so that's not going to do anything regardless of Venti or her. That's kind of cool. Variable damage. Oh, okay. Okay. I keep getting the... What the? So the swirl amplified Mona's ulti and did 16,000, how much? 13,000 damage. 16. Wow, that's the biggest Mona ulti I've ever seen in my life. Holy shit! Yeah, it doesn't happen like that in Venti ultis. What the fuck happened there? All right, NAD build. Here we go. Normal raw attack Traveler. What does she got? Okay, pretty high attack. 1454 attack. Okay. NAD Traveler. Bruh! Hello? Never sleep on Traveler. Well, chat. How we feeling about Traveler? How we feeling about Traveler, chat? All right, you remember yesterday when we were fighting these dudes with Razor? Let's see how well Traveler does. Bruh. I mean, there's like 2,000 of you here, so I mean, you decide. I don't fucking know. Sorry, 2,200 of you here. Literally proccing reaction after reaction after reaction. Just... that was a lot faster than Razor. Because it took Razor 3 E's and it took her 2. We do this. We do this. This. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Right, we got the animal off. And this up again. 4K? Just eat the fucking rock. Yep. Tech is great. Shit. Dog shit. Loot. All right, so let's go over the Traveler that I got right now. So Traveler right now, if you didn't know, right now I only have level 1 on each of the talents, because when you level up the talents, they actually take different books. So every time you level up a talent, they actually take different books every level up. I'll get rid of chat so you guys don't get all weirded out by it. So skill attributes for talent for her stuff actually goes up pretty high, and the tornado damage gets ramped pretty well. The additional elemental damage goes up as well, swirl damage, all that crap. Everything goes up really good. I'm really impressed by it. Slitting Wind for she gets the Anemo blade, Anemo damage for enemies in the path is actually kind of good too for 60% of her attack, because when you go into her attack, that's basically your 4-hit damage or your 3-hit damage, and you get that as a free hit at the end of your combo, so that's also kind of cool. The Anemo that at the end of the rotation can't really swirl or create any kind of reaction, but it does damage, so it's kind of cool. Overall damage is pretty darn high. If you couple it with ice and lightning, you get the conducts, so that's nice. So Kaya or Fischl, if you can run them, really good options there. For fire, I didn't really run anything yet for fire, but Zhangling I can see as a viable option because it's very similar to the way that the bear would work versus Fischl. So I think that would work well with your Palm Vortex as well as your Gust Surge. When we did do the instructor build set with the Venti build, I can say that the damage ramp from Gust Surge is really interesting, because what it does is if the tornado comes out in contact with any kind of element, it's going to deal additional element damage of that type, and that ramps the damage by 32% innately before any swirl effects come in. So my Mona actually for 13 or something, I was in 16, I don't know, like a fuckload of damage. It was the highest damage I've ever seen in my Mona ulti ever, and I was like, big wow, especially since my Mona actually, if you didn't know, doesn't really have any kind of elemental mastery or like a large amount of attack. She's at 1100 attack. I mean, I have a full exile build on her, like just for ulti rushing. I literally have level 12 fucking arts and just this one piece for some extra attack. But like, she doesn't have like crazy high stats. 13k damage on a supporting character is pretty fucking nuts. She does, of course, get a lot of hydro damage, of course, because of the talent set. So she gets an extra 23% because of energy recharge rate. So otherwise, I'm kind of impressed because like she gets a lot of damage. She's a lot of damage. I mean, for her energy recharge rate right here, she's 178%. She only has, again, 23% extra. So, I mean, with her arts and just the hydro damage piece here, she went kind of crazy. I was really surprised. So, Traveler is like your third support with a support build. And then if you want to go the main damage attack, it obviously can work. I insta-cleared that floor 6 Abyss like it was nothing. Fischl will obviously do more damage as a main because of the way the talent set works. But Traveler, sure, that could work. I mean, if you really want to use Fischl as a support and use Traveler as main damage and try to use that, I can see it working. I'll move the thing over. So I have one issue with Traveler. And the issue I have with Traveler is when I start an E and then switch, you can actually like right click out of your E and cancel the animation, but it still goes to cooldown. So you go E right click and you go E right click. Oops, let's see if we do it. And it did not do damage. Yep, but it goes on cooldown. So if you cancel your animation on your E and dodge at the last second, you don't do damage and it cancels your animation. So I think that's my one grievance with Traveler, is you cancel your animation and you don't do any damage. Chat, MC Anemo doing work out in the boonies. What do we rate MC Anemo? Is she, what do we rate her? Out of 10. Out of 10, not waifu status, just straight up, what do we recommend? Let me know, chat. What do you think of her as a unit out of 10? So for 3-star weapons to start the game with, there's a bunch of different weapons that you could potentially use. But the 2 weapons that I think would be the best, of course, for 3-star weapons to start off is going to be the Fillet Blade, which would be very comparable to the weapons that you saw in this video. That would be a great choice as a starter weapon, of course. And then the other 3-star weapon that would be good would be, I believe, the Dark Iron Sword. I don't know if I've ever seen that, but if you can get it, great. But both of those weapons are really good for this. The Fillet Blade would be more for an NAD style build, as well as the Dark Iron Sword, really good for a just, you know, surge damage build with kind of support style traveler, so you can do that way. Now in 4-star weapons, of course, you get the prototype Rancor as a free to play weapon at AR rank 10. It is the weapon that of course you receive, and it gets you 4% attack and defense every single stack for of course up to 6 stack, a max of 4 stacks, giving you a total of 16 to 24% max attack and defense with a physical damage bonus. This is a kind of like tank DPS weapon. I don't really recommend this weapon in general because it's not that great, and we're using it. I'm using it on my free-to-play account right now, and it's okay. If you don't want to build another weapon, saves you some resources. That's nice. You can just keep it at low rank, and you don't have to like max it out. So it's okay. So for the 4-star weapons, the Blacklift Longsword is not in the game yet, so I can't recommend that yet. But the other weapons that you can get, the Iron Sting is an interesting weapon. I don't know how the Iron Sting would work if you're holding an E. If you're holding your E out and it does 2 ticks of your E, I wonder if it would just give you the both stacks in the Iron Sting. If so, that would be interesting that would be a very, very good weapon for the other version of the Traveler, which is the first version you saw in the video, which is an Elemental Mastery style Traveler, where you're just kind of using the Traveler to burst other people. I didn't really do a good job in the showcase of showing off how well that can do, because it's kind of a weird thing to use a swirl character in general, and it's hard to showcase them because of how many elements are out there that are immune to their own element for slimes, etc. But that gives you an idea of what you could have against a lot of enemies in the game that are immune to like that. Lion's Roar is also a good weapon for the Traveler if you are going to be going with any kind of NED build, or you're going with an Elemental Mastery build if you want to. The reason Lion's Roar is good is because typically when using Traveler, you're using it with a fire or electro character, or maybe even ice, electro, water. And there's another type of particle that's going to be up a lot of the time, and you're going to be using the Traveler second to get a swirl reaction off of that and not losing the particle. So I don't really think that's a bad choice, but it's not an optimal choice if I had to take a pick. But you could use it because it's a little bit more clunky. I do use a similar style of this on another character that you'll see in another showcase. As far as other weapons go, I've never seen anyone use the Alley Flash. I don't think it'll be a good option. Sacrificial Star's a hard no for me. The Black Sword, however, from the Battle Pass would be an incredible weapon here, because increasing normal attack and charge attack by 20% would be good, and regenerating 60% of attack as HP with normal attack hits to score a critical hit. This is also kind of a nice little like tank heal weapon. And the nice thing about Traveler is that every time you use Palm Vortex, you do heal. So it is a good like self-sustained kind of build if you want to just keep Traveler out for a very long time. It's not my most recommended weapon, but it's definitely a very good weapon. The Flute, however, is a very common weapon and a very good weapon to use for this case. In this case, that's one I was using in the showcase. It's very strong, and that potentially could be the best one. The Royal Longsword, however, is a really cool weapon, and getting a base raw attack of value as well as getting crit chance stacks as well is a very interesting weapon. But I'd say the overall best weapon for her is the Flute. For 5-star weapons, I'm going to go with the Aquila Favonia as far as a better weapon to go with, because it has a Phys damage bonus, and Phys damage bonus is what we're using in this video. Phys damage is very, very strong, especially if you get a superconduct reaction on the enemies, and swirl characters, of course, can enable superconducts, so you can make them go even further, so there's no issue with a crossover between elements for superconduct. I think that would be a very, very good option here, and the fact that it gives you a self-sustain build as well as damage build along with it is a very smart choice. The Skyward Blade, increasing crit rate by 4%, getting sky piercing among elemental bursts. If you use an elemental burst, you get other buffs. I don't know. I don't know. I've never seen anybody actually use this weapon, but it seems fine. But I don't know, as I said, but it's an energy recharge weapon based on using your ulti a lot, which is really good on Traveler, I mean, I guess. But I don't know how I would use this weapon on the Traveler per se, but it's definitely an interesting choice. All right, for artifact builds early on, I recommend either if you're gonna go with a reaction build, go with the Instructor set, and if you want to go for a more damage-based set, go for the Berserker set on her, as well as an Exile mix. Just go for a 2-piece Berserker and 2-piece Instructor as my preferred option, as the best possible build in the early 2 sets. As you get toward the mid game is looking for more sets, of course, you should be switching more toward, if you're gonna be using just a raw attack build, go for a Sojourner set and use some of the martial arts that you get, as well as Heart of Bravery areas to get yourself the attack builds. And as you go to the mid and late game, of course, Gladiator sets are very, very good, and Bloodstained Chivalry as well. But you won't be able to get these pieces, of course, till about 35 to get the bigger pieces of these. So once you hit air rank 35, that's when you're going to start seeing these a little bit more. But toward the mid game, an attack and crit build with either Sojourner or potentially Heart of with a Bravery set is a very, very fine build to go with. You could keep your Instructor set with Berserker set the entire way through, though, if you wanted to do just kind of a mix and match, and you don't need to have like the actual 18% attack set for the 2 and 2 to make this work. In the late game, I'm not quite sure what the best build is for Traveler, because again, there's so many different versions of the Traveler, and I'm really not comfortable giving you a best possible build for the Traveler because it's so awkward. There's so many different builds you could use. So one of the things I did notice that I did want to try with the Anemo Traveler is, of course, the Veriner set, and I will do a showcase on that once I start upgrading it. I got about 3 out of the 4 pieces so far, and I will do a separate video on Traveler if you guys like this one, and we could just, certain like value on this one. But that's what I would recommend for the early game sets. For the late game tech, physical damage so far and attack damage seems like the best possible choice, but you could go with like an Anemo damage bonus here and go for the Viridis and Veriner set as well if you want to go for more support build on her and just, or him, and just go full send. I don't know, again, what the best build is. Gladiator and Bloodstained seem fine. Full Gladiator also seems fine. There's so many different options that you could run with Traveler, and I'm still very much on the fence on Traveler. It's very hard to give you a recommendation because the Traveler has so many different variants that could potentially become in the future. So Gladiator is a safe pick. The Bloodstained Chivalry is a somewhat safe pick as well for just a 2 set piece bonus. And the Anemo set I don't think is a safe pick yet because I haven't tried it yet. So give me a couple days, and I will, of course, try to put out this video with an Anemo set for the Traveler. But my name's Sekapoko. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did enjoy the video, of course, like and subscribe. All the fun stuff, and you guys have a great rest of your day. Peace.